Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Louis from Music for Humans, and in this video I will show you how to play your first open string notes on your violin. Before we actually get started on how to play our first note on the violin, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel to get the latest tips on how to play the violin. So first things first, if you have yet to watch my video on how to hold your violin and how to set up a reliable bow grip, please do. The links are in the description. So now let's talk about bowing technique to get you playing your first notes in no time. In this lesson, we will focus on the Detache bow stroke. On the violin, Detache is a bowing technique that uses long, separate up and down bow strokes for each note. In sheet music, the Detache notes has no marking, so if you don't see any slurs or accent, this means that this section will have to be played in Detache. Now that we are ready to play our first Detache note, let's hold the violin up and place the bow on the A string around the middle part of your bow. You want to keep the bow straight as you draw it towards the tip of the bow. To do so, pushing your elbow out and away from your body is essential. This helps to maintain a consistent sounding point and produce a clear, even tone. If you don't know what the sounding point is the point of contact between the bow hair and your string. There are many different sounding points and each of them have unique tones. Don't worry, I will explain a lot more about the different sounding points later in this video. So let's get back to our Detache bow stroke. Hold your violin up, ready to play, and then place your bow on the A string around the middle part of your bow. When playing in the middle of the bow, your arm and elbow should create a 90-degree angle. Your elbow should always stay right below your wrist. You don't want to end up with your elbow above your wrist because it creates a lot of tension in your shoulder. You can try by just doing this even without the bow. It's a very uncomfortable position and you will feel the tension in your shoulder. Now we will play our first down stroke. You want to pull the bow down as you push your elbow out. Remember, you want to keep the bow straight and parallel with the bridge as you draw it toward the tip. When you reach the tip and are ready to return, push the bow towards the middle part and bring your elbow back until you are back to your 90-degree angle. Every bow stroke should start from the elbow, either opening for the down bow stroke or closing for the up bow stroke. Always make sure that your elbow stays lower than your wrist. You really don't want to end up like this. Keep your bow arm in line with your body. Imagine you're up against a wall and you cannot pull your arm back any further. You really want to avoid doing movements like this because you're going to lose your sounding point and start having unfocused sound. As you draw the bow across your string, make sure to keep a consistent pressure to keep a nice even tone. You can repeat the same exercise on each string. Now let's talk about bow control. There are a few key techniques you can use to add expression and dynamics to your playing. Applying more pressure on the string will make the sound louder and brighter. To apply more pressure, you want to use the weight of your arm, pulling the bow down, and use your index finger to apply that pressure. Less bow pressure will make your sound silkier and quieter. To remove bow pressure, you want to lift the weight off your arm and use your pinky to lift the weight of the bow off the string. Now let's talk about bow speed. A faster bow speed will make the sound louder. But if you are not in control, it can also make your sound lose its focus. A slower bow speed will make your sound quieter and also easier to control. Now let's finally talk more about sounding points. Again, the sounding point is the point of contact between your bow hair and the string. It's an extremely important concept to understand while using the bow. It will have a huge impact on the sound and character of your playing. Now, the beginner sounding point is right in the middle between the bridge and the fingerboard. So you want to keep your bow right there in the middle. This is the most forgiving sounding point, meaning that if you apply too much or not enough bow pressure, you will pretty much have a decent sound coming out of your violin no matter what. Alright, so now we'll do a fun exercise. I will make you experiment with the different sounding points by creating the most horrible sound possible you can do with your violin. You might wonder right now, why do you want me to do that? The reason is, by knowing how to create a horrible sound, if you happen to hear that sound while you're practicing, you will know precisely what you're doing wrong. This way, you can correct your bow pressure or sounding point depending on which kind of sound you're hearing. So let's try them together. First one, too much pressure, too close to the fingerboard. As you can hear, this sound is pretty horrible, so this is what you will hear if you're applying too much pressure and that your sounding point is too close to the fingerboard. Now let's try too close to the bridge with not enough bow pressure. If you're too close to the bridge and don't apply enough pressure, you will hear a very thin sound, kind of aggressive to the ear. In this case, you want to move your bow back towards the fingerboard and apply a little bit more pressure. So once again, the most forgiving sounding point is in the middle between the bridge and your fingerboard. The reason why is if you don't apply enough pressure or apply too much pressure, you will always have a decent sound coming out of your violin. It's a great place to start and gain confidence. Once you start feeling more comfortable with your bowing technique, don't be afraid to experiment. You can explore all the different sounding points to create effects and different tones. For example, when playing close to the bridge with enough pressure, you will create a more focused and bright sound. While playing closer to the fingerboard with less bow pressure will create a silkier sound, almost flute-like. So don't be afraid to get experimental with the sounding points, because this is one of the most fun things to do with your violin. So now that you know everything about the basics of bowing on your open strings, grab your violin and start practicing right away. Thank you so much for watching my video on how to play your first note on your violin. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, please comment or feel free to reach out to me at musicforhumans.com.